So it is time. So this is the Infinite Game, and I'm gonna be talking about today sports card investments, specifically the top 5 basketball cards that people should be picking up for the summer. And these are all long-term plays. So 2-3 year holds, really. I would say 2 to 5 year holds, but these cards could go up within next year, and I would sell to make profits. So the first one is Jaylen Brown, 2016 Select Silver. I mean, you could do Select Base, but I think just refractors for Jaylen Brown is the best. He was playing extremely well this season, and then he got a wrist injury, which took him out. Also, I would say look at as of right now, look at BGS and SGC, like BGS 9.5, BGS 10s, SGC 9.5s, 10s, and 10 gold labels, because those are decreasing very fast. Obviously, you can do his blue or something serial number if you have the money, but those are much more expensive. Or you can do the Optic Hollow. I believe the Optic Hollow got in a high of $575. And now they're around $250 to $270. So that's another one. I don't think this next year the Celtics will be that great or that much better. I think it's going to be the year after, because they traded Kemba Walker, so they have salary cap. And then I believe after this next year, Al Horford will be off the book. So they can try to lure a max free agent or make some trades to get another max caliber guy. Crazy enough, I don't think they should do anything too drastic. If they should get someone, I would think, De'Aaron Fox is probably more understandable with everyone's age and how they're all progressing. But this is also his card. So I think he's just forgotten about, and I think it'll take him some time to kind of recover from the wrist injury, but his recovery so far has been going pretty well, and no one's thinking about him, no one's talking about him. If anything, people are thinking about Jayson Tatum. I don't think he's going to be an all-time great. I don't think he's going to make top 50. He could, but I don't see it. So that's the thing. He's more of a flip, or not something you want to hold too long. But I think for the next couple of years, he's a good hold, because he has a lot of potential, and the Celtics can have something promising going. I think he's definitely surprised people, especially with his playmaking ability, because I don't think people really thought about that. Next is Jamal Murray. For that card, I think it is his 2016 Select Silver or his Prism Silver. The Select Silver is PSA 10 shown above you. I'm definitely going to be picking up some of his cards. I don't think he plays that great during the regular season. I think during the playoffs, he is his best. He's playing with a MVP in Nikola Jokic, which is also great. I do see Michael Porter Jr. getting better. So these are all positives, and they're a very young and up-and-coming team. I don't think he's the next Kobe Bryant or anything like that, but I think for the next couple of years he'll get better, recover from his injury, and really make an impact. Maybe he'll make some All-Stars. He's not an all-time great. I wouldn't be holding him for 20-some years. But I think with you starting to see a lot of these players getting older, he is a great play. And in front of you have the Prism Silver. Definitely very low pop count. I believe a PSA 10 for this card was selling for $2,000 mid-December, and now they're under $900. I believe they're approaching $700. There's not very many. 2016, they didn't make quite a bit of cards, but not a lot were graded. You may see more graded in the future, but most people just haven't wasted their time trying to grade these cards for 2016 class, which are good players. I don't think anyone's going to be... There may be a Hall of Famer that comes out of here, but it's probably Ben Simmons, and he's not like right now. But I think he is a really, really good buy. And I think 2 years from now, I think, you'll make major money for the long term from Jamal Murray. Or he can get traded, and news can. There'd be great news, but I think Michael Porter Jr. is more likely to get traded than Jamal Murray. And then obviously Optic Hollow is something very low pop count, is lower than the silver and the select silver count. I mean, all this stuff is low, so you don't need that many people to go in and try to buy. I mean, you can do BGS 9, SGC 9, PSA 9, and try to go for more refractor type things. I think it will be the smart bet. All right, so next is 2003 player Carmelo Anthony. I think he's a definite buy. I think he's a definite buy over the last two because he's already have an established career, 10-time All-Star. He's going to be probably a first ballot Hall of Famer as well. I think he's going to probably play for another year or year and a half. But that's the point. I don't think people really going to be thinking about him. He's still going to have some good games because he's a walking bucket. But he is someone I think a lot of people are sleeping on because he's in the same draft class as LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. I mean, he's still able to score 18 or 20 points in a game. I would say Bowman Chrome, especially Bowman Refractors, that's really sneaky. Same with the refractor theme. I think he's more of a 5-year hold where you hear his Hall of Fame announcement, and I think you should just be picking these up because people are just going to be sleeping on this guy, and I think the returns are going to be major. And 2003 Topps Chrome is a very iconic set, and they're nice looking cars. I think Carmelo's going to be successful after basketball as well. I know the PSA 10s were around 380, and before they're around 900 for just a PSA 10. So I would say that he is an excellent buy. Like what you have in front of you is a BGS 9.5. This is actually for a refractor. And if you can afford a refractor, get the refractor. Normally refractors sell about 4 to 5x more than base. I do think the base card market will return, but I would say for refractors are still serial number, Topps Chrome, Topps Finest, Bowman Chrome. I think those will be the best. The other one is Topps Pristine. I think a lot of people are sleeping on that, what you see in front of you. This one's in a SGC 10 case. I'm going to be picking up probably the Pristine, I would say Topps Chrome and Bowman Chrome personally. Finest, I think, is very, very hard to find, period. But yeah, he is slept on. His stuff is way too cheap. I mean, there are certain guys who are playing right now, and their stuff is more expensive than Carmelo, and I don't think they're going to be as good as him or have the accolades. My fourth one, I think this is really important, is Dirk Nowitzki. The reason why Dirk, I would say, is because he's one of the best players to ever play the game. I would say he's in the top 20, maybe top 25, top 30. If you're saying he's not in the top 30, you probably don't know basketball. 2023 with Hall of Fame class for Dirk Nowitzki. Also Tony Parker, he's an honorable mention, but Dirk Nowitzki, someone to buy. I would try to find whatever refractor you can, whether it's Topps Chrome, Topps Finest, Bowman Chrome, any other kind of refractor for him. If not, just get the Chrome cards. I think if you can get PSA 10 in front of you, we have a PSA 9. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, German player. Cards are becoming more worldwide, international. So, I mean, they're going to be a German collection eventually. I think that's probably 10 years down the line, but he is a phenomenal player, and there aren't going to be many that's going to even come close to him. So this is his Skybox EX. I think this is a great card to buy as well as a PSA 9. I mean, just get PSA 9s or 10s. There's just not that many cards of his that are graded. And I think his stuff is really going to go up. I do think this is another 2-year hold. 2023 hasn't happened yet, but I think people are wising up and people are buying stuff earlier. So people are buying stuff earlier. And I think looking at the market more of like a couple year time span, it's just going to be easier to actually make money. And I think you're going to just be more selective. If you just build up money, save it for a couple months, and then go out and buy stuff for 3 months or 6 months or a year, and then start buying stuff, I think it's going to make more sense for most people. Next, I think this is a sneaky one, UD, which is Upper Deck Ovations. Very low pop count, PSA 10. These things cost about $100. So if you're more on a budget, saving up money for this, I think is a better move. And maybe you can negotiate or find an auction and get it for $50, $60. Maybe 75, which I think is really good for all-time great Dirk Nowitzki. Not as many sets as there are today. You know, I think it's fair, and I think he's not going to be a player that gets in any trouble. And if you want a long-term collection, you can end up having them. I don't know how many people are going with the top 20 players ever, or top 30 players ever. But I think he's worth it. And then his SP Authentic, I think these are very valuable. I think this is serial number at 3,500. So that means if all of them were graded, at most they'll be 3,500, let's say PSA 10s or SGC 10s or BGS 95s, which is not going to be the case. There are probably going to be some 8s and some 9s or whatever, and maybe some burned or lost in trash can and never be recovered. So, or just never graded. So I think these cards here will be very valuable and worth it, because you just know how many that are made. I would say this is probably one of the top cards outside of Top Chrome Refractor for Dirk Nowitzki. I think this is an excellent card to get. And the last card, which I think is a 2-year play as well, is Dwayne Wade. And if you're going to keep this card long term, I would prefer having Dwayne Wade over Dirk, even though I think under some levels people think Dirk was better overall. I would say Dwayne Wade, he's just more popular. He's more well known. I think he's be more successful, especially involved in pop culture and hip hop culture as well, overall than Dirk will, and he's gonna be more memorable. So kind of like Charles Barkley is more known than Akeem Olajuwon. That's why his cards for PSA 10 are higher than Akeem Olajuwon. So I think that's important to keep straight. And same with Carmelo. Topps Chrome. Try to buy refractors. If not, there is the Fleer tradition in the Matrix with him and either Chris Bosh and LeBron, or Dwayne Wade, LeBron, and Carmelo. So those obviously look at this Pristine special refractor that'll go for pretty cheap. Look at Topps Chrome refractor if you can. Try to look at Bowman Chrome. Look at Finest. These are things, especially refractors, or look at his second year card, his second year refractors. Try to get them in PSA 10 or the highest grade possible. Very few of those graded. But yeah, these are the best guys, I think, for long term, probably for the next 2 years. To buy during this off season and hold for 2 years. If there is some big spikes, go ahead and sell it. But I think these, you're going to see major gains 2 years from now. Yeah, and please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to be working on putting more consistent videos and doing more consistent content that's hopefully be helpful to you guys.